guys, so continuing my kibbe body type series. If you're new to this channel, I'm gonna leave the link down below my kibbe playlist. Today we're gonna compare soft gamine to all other types. Overall it's 13 types. Now I'm gonna read the description of the soft gamine body so you would know how soft gamine is built. It is the overall balance of a combination of opposites, extra yin on the yin-yang scale, very rounded body type and features on a delicately angular frame, along with a playful and spirited essence. Therefore, slight deviation here or there is always possible and should not be worried over if it does not upset your yin-yang balance. Height, under 5 feet 5 inches, usually very petite. Bone structure, delicate and small, yet slightly broad and angular. Angular edges, particularly through the shoulders, square or tapered. Small hands and feet, maybe slightly wide or flashy. Delicately broad facial contours, nose, cheekbones, and jawline, which may have extra beats of angularity. Arms and legs tend to be shortish in proportion to height. Body type, normally soft and curvy body, tends towards fleshiness. Curved bust line and hips with some natural waist definition. Arms and legs tend to be soft and fleshy, particularly through the hip and thigh areas. Don't like facial features, sometimes huge eyes, round and fleshy cheeks, full lips. Facial shape may be very rounded and it can have a slightly sharp or slightly strong jawline. Now let's compare soft gamine to other body types. First, we're gonna compare soft gamine to dramatic. Now, this is a huge difference. It's so hard to mix those two. Soft gamine is petite and soft. Dramatic is tall or looks tall and very angular. Both of them have some angularity. Dramatics normally have a lot of angularity. Soft gamines have this tiny bit of angularity. They still delicate and soft with some angularity. So that's probably the one thing that they have in common, but it's so hard to confuse those two. Now let's go to soft dramatic. Soft gamine and soft dramatic, also pretty big difference. Soft gamines again look petite, and if you look at them, if you look at their arms and thighs and legs, they look slightly shortish, smallish. Soft dramatics look large, they look pretty tall or elongated, their arms and legs look heavier, their facial features look more prominent, they are more lush. What they have in common is maybe some soft flesh on top of the bones, on top of their frame, and they both can have some figures sometimes, but don't rely just on figure. Figures can be, as we've already seen, many examples can be so different from one type to another. So let's not confuse ourselves. Let's not focus on the figures right now. We're gonna focus on more other specific things of their body. Sometimes, not always, sometimes soft dramatic can look more like a woman, like more womanly, and soft gamine would probably look girlish a little bit. That's another thing, but again, don't rely on this. It's not a rule. It's just my observation more. If we compare soft gamine to romantic, romantic is less angular, I would say. Romantic is less angular, and soft gamine, if we compare her to romantic, she more looks like a teenage girl. And romantic looks again a bit more womanly. They both are small, they can be both petite, they can have some flesh, softness of their figure, softness on their arms, softness on their legs. It's just romantics, she won't have that angularity that soft gamine has. If soft gamine has sharp chin, romantic won't have it. She will have something more delicate here. If soft gamine has sharper shoulders, romantic won't have them. So soft gamine, she's delicate but slightly angular within this delicate frame, and romantic is not angular. Soft gamine versus theatrical romantic. Many confuse those two. Again, theatrical romantic looks a bit more lush and womanly, and soft gamine would look a bit more girlish, maybe like a teenage-like. They can be both pretty petite, they can be both small, they look both small. They both look slightly soft, they have both slightly soft flesh. They both are not angular. Soft gamine is slightly more angular than theatrical romantic. Soft gamine is a bit more, she has different angularity. And theatrical romantic has everything soft but has some delicate and sharpness in their bones. Soft gamine, she has some angularity, some squarishness in her. Soft gamine versus classic. Classic looks drier, looks much more moderate in size, looks more average and much more symmetrical. Soft gamine normally looks shortish. and a bit more plump. And classic looks a bit drier and a bit more angular, more squarish, just bigger in general and just a bit heavier maybe in bones, and everything is much more moderate in everything. Soft gamine versus soft classic. Soft classic looks bigger, a bit more elongated, again much more moderate. They both can have some flesh, but soft classic looks more delicate and has a little bit different essence, more elegance maybe in her. And soft gamine, she has a different kind of an elegance. She has that fire in her and some sharpness and some angularity on top of that tiny and soft body. Soft gamine versus dramatic classic. Dramatic classics are more moderate in size. They look heavier, they look taller, they look more broad, they look stronger. They can be more square or more sharp in their facial features, in their body. They can look a bit more straight in figure as well. And soft gamines, they're much smaller, shorter, and they don't look as strong. Soft gamine versus natural. Naturals look heavier, a bit taller, slightly more squarish. In figure, sometimes they have wider chest area, wider shoulder area, wider rib cage area sometimes. And soft gamines, they normally have narrower part here. Naturals look a bit more muscular, more squarish in bones. Soft gamines' bones are not square. They are slightly small, delicate, and slightly angular. Soft gamine versus soft natural. I would say soft naturals are a bit broader looking. Still soft, but their softness is different. They look slightly heavier. They look a bit bigger than them. They don't necessarily have those very short arms, very short legs. They can look a little bit taller. They have more square bones, blunt bones. And soft gamines have smaller bones and sharper bones and slightly angular. And soft naturals are slightly broad and also angular and slightly squarish here. Soft gamine versus flamboyant natural. Pretty hard to confuse those two. Flamboyant natural is elongated. She has squarish bones. She has sometimes more straight figures. She has sometimes wider shoulders, more square shoulders, wider bones and longer bones. And soft gamine has shorter bones, smaller bones. She has some soft flesh on top, and flamboyant naturals might not have this extra flesh on top. They would likely have more like a musculature rather than that softness, unless they gain a little bit of weight. Soft gamine versus gamine. Gamines normally are a bit drier. They more look like boyish, a little bit like tomboys. They have narrow frame, smallish frame. They have narrower facial bones, facial features. They don't have as much flesh. And soft gamines, they have a bit more doll-like features, a bit more like a girlish features. They are slightly rounder, slightly softer, but they both can be very petite, and their frame is actually pretty similar. They're both angular. They're from gamine family, of course. So soft gamine versus flamboyant gamine. Soft gamine looks softer, shorter. Flamboyant gamine looks maybe straighter, a bit stronger, slightly broadly angular. Flamboyant gamine can have squarish shoulders, can have stronger jawline, for example, can be slightly leggy, short, slightly elongated, can have longer arms and like shorter legs or a bit longer legs, but again within this small frame. And soft gamine, everything is kind of looks pretty smallish and pretty soft. Alright, that's it. I hope that resolved some of your confusion. Let me know in the comments how is it going down below, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Subscribe on my Pinterest for 13 boards as an inspiration for the body types. Also, you can subscribe on my Instagram. All the links I'm gonna leave down below. Also, you can become my sponsor or subscribe on my Patreon for some exclusive videos, some early access to these videos, and just if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.